Can retiring early lead to an early death? Why so morbid? Why so morbid, Duane? Why so morbid? As I mentioned in an earlier video, probably about a month ago, which was called Why Do So Many People Die Right After They Retire? I also mentioned in there the stats from those who retire early would scare the hell out of you. I didn't mention it in that video. I got some comments saying, what are those stats? What are those stats? Well, here you go. Here are those stats for those people who asked. First of all, I got all this information from the Money Guy. Now, the video I referred to about a month and a half ago was based on a study done by Shell Oil, okay? The part about retiring early is sobering. The evidence from the Shell Oil study said those who retired at 55 had a 37% higher chance of death at age 65 or later than those who retired at 65. Yikes, right? For those of us who retired early, for those of you seeing me for the first time, my name is Duane. I retired on my 59th birthday in 2021. This is a channel for retiring on moderate income. If you think you might like that, think about subscribing and like the video as well. And if you really want to support me, there are 2 links down below where you can. So for someone who retired early like me, those are sobering statistics, right? The second point of that Shell Oil study, those who retired at 55 were 89% more likely to die in the first 10 years after retirement than those who retired at 65. Another very sobering statistic, right? Okay, here's the second study that is also negative towards people retiring early. This is done by Social Security. It says, men who retired at 62 were 20% more likely to die than those who did not retire at 62. Hey guys, leave me a comment. Have you had any friends, family members that retired early and died earlier than maybe they expected to, earlier than people expected to, earlier than normal life expectancy of a man or woman? Leave me some comments on that. Very curious. So we've got those studies, okay? Yeah, there's studies. There's 2 separate studies saying that retiring early can lead to an early death. Here's some problems with that. And in a couple minutes, I will get to evidence for some of those studies that are pro early retirement, okay? But here are a couple problems with those 2 studies. Number 1, the Shell Oil study. It's only one company that's doing the study, okay? Also, think about Shell Oil. Okay, a lot of those employees are probably out in the oil fields, right? Dangerous job, heavy manual labor, okay? So there's one problem. It's only one company. We're not talking about the population as a whole, all right? Second problem, those who retired early were probably not as healthy as those who retired at 65. Evidence again of Shell Oil, probably heavy manual labor for a lot of those people, right? So because of that, they could have retired on disability. Those who retire on disability, a lot of those do not reach the normal age expectancy, okay? So those are 2 issues with the Shell Oil study. Number 1, it's just one company. Number 2, hard labor probably for a lot of those employees, all right? What about the Social Security study? Here's 2 points as well for Social Security study. Number 1, college-educated men are likely to retire later than those who are not college-educated. Now, that's kind of the opposite of what I might have thought, right? I mean, because you think about it, a lot of these college-educated people probably making really good money. Why not retire early? But no, at least this Social Security study says it's the opposite. Okay, here's the second issue. Those without college education that are retiring early are likely blue-collared manual labor jobs. Again, hard work. A lot of those might have retired on disability. Okay. So again, disability, a lot of those people don't reach the actual age of the normal age of people, the longevity. So there are some problems right there with those two studies. So should we just totally disregard the information that these studies give us? No, something to think about, right? But here are some points, some studies, some evidence that are pro early retirement. Okay, these are the ones I'm going to hang on to. Number one, the Journal of Health Economics studied Dutch civil servants. These were men who retired early. They were 2.6% less likely to die over a 5-year period than those still in the workforce. Okay, now what are the parameters of retiring early for Dutch people? I don't know. Probably less than 60, I would say, So positive there. I know it's only 2.6% still, but 2.6% less likely to die over a 5-year period than those who are still in the workforce. Positive for me, man. I'll take it. Especially since I retired early. Yeah, I'll take it. It's another study. This is a study done in the United States that found 7 years of retirement reduced serious disease by 20%. I'm hanging on to that study. A lot of your early retirees should do the same. 7 years of retirement reduced serious disease by 20%. That is a big, dare I say, huge figure, right? Think about it, guys. I mean, for me, I know, and for a lot of people watching this channel have commented to me in the comments, your stress just goes down so much when you retire. Can you see my full U2 guys there? There they are. Your stress level just goes, A lot of stress can create a lot of disease, right? What's another thing? Positive outlook on life. You don't have to worry about all these things you used to worry about in your work. You might have so much more time to spend with family and friends that your good vibes just go through the roof. Roof? That's definite positive for me. So I can totally understand that. I mean, think about it. 7 years of retirement, they're not talking about 2 years. They're talking about having a good, healthy chunk of your lifespan. 7 years, let's say 70, 1/10 of your life in retirement, spent in retirement. And if that's a good retirement, hey, your chance of getting serious disease is less. I'll hang my hat on that. Even though I'm wearing a beanie, I'll still just hang my hat on it. Here's another study for you. This one found that poor health in retirees is due to a lack of physical activity, a lack of interaction, and being single, not married. Okay, that last part may not be good for me, although I've been in a 22-year relationship with the same woman. Not married, but we're basically married. That's some good news right there, guys. And that tells you the way to avoid any of this stuff. If you are an early retiree, man, get your physical activity. Interact with people. I know, especially for those of you who are introverts. I am somewhat of an introvert. I am definitely not an extrovert. It's not in my nature to go out there and meet new people all the time. It's just not. That's not me. But you know what? I found that when I do that in retirement, when I get out of my comfort zone and I do meet those new people, man, I feel great. I feel great afterwards. Those endorphins just come up, just like when you're exercising, those endorphins come up. I am glad that I pushed myself to go out there and meet new people, especially if you're single. Now, I'm kind of semi-single, I guess, because I've been in a long-term relationship, serious committed relationship for 22 years. But for those of you who are not, this is even more important, guys. Physical activity, interaction. You can't just, as I've said over and over in this channel, you can't just sit around doing nothing all day long. You got to get up and do something. Have a hobby or 3. You know, think these things up before you retire. What am I going to spend my time on in retirement? You have to figure that out a long time before you retire, guys. You got to get out there and do that. So, what I choose to focus on in this video is the last half. Those positive studies for retiring early. And you know what? I retired early, so I guess we'll find out, won't we? For those of you who have retired early, again, leave me some comments. How do you feel? How you feeling? How's your outlook on life? So that's it, guys. I chose to focus on the positive because on those two studies, there are some problems with them. So anyway, as always, we got this.